Yeshayahu or Isaiah chapter 18. Woe to the land of whirring wings, which is beyond the rivers of Cush, which sends envoys by sea, even in vessels of reed on the waters, saying, Go, swift messengers, to a nation tall and smooth-skinned, to a people dreaded from their beginning onward, a nation mighty and trampling, whose land the rivers divide. All the inhabitants of the world, and you that dwell on the earth, when a banner is lifted up on the mountains, look, and when a shofar is blown, hear. For thus Yehovah said to me, I am still, and I watch in my dwelling place like a dazzling heat in sunshine, like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. For before harvest, when the bud is perfect and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, then he shall cut off the twigs with pruning hooks, and shall cut down and take away the spreading branches. They are left together for the mountain birds of prey, and for the beasts of the earth. And the birds of prey shall summer on them, and all the beasts of the earth winter on them. In that time a present shall be brought to Yehovah of hosts from a people tall and smooth-skinned, and from a people awesome from their beginning onward, a nation mighty and trampling, whose land the rivers have divided, to the place of the name of Yehovah of hosts, to Mount Zion. Chapter 19. The message concerning Mitzrayim. See, Yehovah is riding on a swift cloud, and he shall come into Mitzrayim, and the idols of Mitzrayim shall tremble at his presence, and the heart of Mitzrayim melt in its midst. And I shall stir up the Mitzrites against Mitzrites, and they shall fight, each one against his brother, and each one against his neighbor, city against city, reign against reign. And the spirit of Mitzrayim shall vanquish them, and I destroy their counsel. And they shall seek the idols, and the mutterers, the mediums, and the sorcerers. And I shall deliver the Mitzrites into a hand of a cruel master, and a fierce sovereign to rule over them, declares the Master, Yehovah of hosts. And waters shall fail from the sea, and the river wasted and dried up, and the rivers shall stink, and the streams shall be weak and dried up. Reeds and rushes shall wither. Bare places by the river, by the mouth of the river, and every sown field by the river shall wither. It shall be driven away and be no more. And the fishermen shall lament, and all those who cast hooks into the river shall mourn, and they who spread nets on the water shall pine away. And those whose work in fine flax, and those who weave fine fabric, shall become ashamed. And its fountains shall be crushed, all the wage workers grieved in being. The princes of Zoan are only fools. The counsel of Pharaoh's wise ones has become senseless. How do you say to Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient sovereigns? Where are they? Where are your wise men? Let them show you, and let them know what Yehovah of hosts has counseled against Mitzrayim. The princes of Zoan have become fools. The princes of Nob are deceived. They, the cornerstone of her tribes, have led Mitzrayim astray. Yehovah has mixed a perverse spirit in her midst, and they have led Mitzrayim astray in all her work, as a drunkard strays in his vomit. And there is no work for Mitzrayim by either head or tail, palm branch or bulrush. In that day Mitzrayim shall become like women, and tremble in fear because of the waving of the hand of Yehovah of hosts, which he waves over it. And the land of Yehudah shall be a fear to Mitzrayim. Everyone who mentions it fears for himself because of the counsel of Yehovah of hosts, which he has counseled against it. In that day, 5 cities in the land of Mitzrayim shall speak the language of Canaan, and swear by Yehovah of hosts. One is called the city of destruction. In that day a slaughter place to Yehovah shall be in the midst of the land of Mitzrayim, and a standing column to Yehovah at its border. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness to Yehovah of hosts in the land of Mitzrayim, when they cry to Yehovah because of the oppressors. He sends them a Savior and a great one, and shall deliver them. And Yehovah shall be known to Mitzrayim, and the Mitzrites shall know Yehovah in that day, and make a slaughtering and a meal offering, and shall make a vow to Yehovah and pay it. And Yehovah shall smite Mitzrayim, smite it, and heal it. And they shall turn to Yehovah, and he shall hear them and heal them. In that day there shall be a highway from Mitzrayim to Asher, and Asher shall come into Mitzrayim, and Mitzrayim into Asher, and Mitzrayim shall serve with Asher. In that day Israel shall be one of three with Mitzrayim and Asher, even a blessing in the midst of the earth, whom Yehovah of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed is Mitzrayim, my people, and Asher, the work of my hands, and Israel, my inheritance. Chapter 20. In the year that Tartan came to Ashdod, when Sargon the sovereign of Asher sent him, and he fought against Ashdod and took it, at that same time Yehovah spoke by means of Yeshayahu, son of Amoz, saying, Go and remove the sackcloth from your body, and take your sandals off your feet. And he did so, walking naked and barefoot. And Yehovah said, As my servant Yeshayahu has walked naked and barefoot 3 years, for a sign and a wonder against Mitzrayim and Cush, so does the sovereign of Asher lead away the captives of Mitzrayim and the exiles of Cush, young and old, naked and barefoot, with their buttocks uncovered, the shame of Mitzrayim. And they shall be afraid and ashamed of Cush, their expectation, and of Mitzrayim their boast. And the inhabitant of this coastland shall say in that day, See, such is our expectation, wherever we flee for help to be delivered from the sovereign of Asher. And how do we escape? Chapter 21. The message concerning the wilderness of the sea. As whirlwinds in the south sweep on, so it comes from the wilderness, from an awesome land. A distressing vision is revealed to me. The treacherous betrays, and the ravager ravages. Go up, O Elam, besiege, O Media. All the groanings I bring to an end. Therefore my loins are filled with anguish. Pangs have seized me like the pangs of a woman in labor. I was distressed when I heard it. I was troubled when I saw it. My heart reeled. Horror overwhelmed me. The night for which I longed, he turned into fear for me. Prepare the table, spread the mat, eat and drink. Arise, you princes, anoint the shield. For Yehovah has said this to me. Go, set a watchman, let him declare what he sees. And he saw a chariot with a pair of horsemen, a chariot of donkeys and a chariot of camels. And he listened attentively, very attentively. Then he cried, A lion, O Yehovah! I stand continually on the watchtower in the daytime, and I have sat at my post every night, and see a chariot of men coming with a pair of horsemen. And he spoke up and said, Babel is fallen, and all the carved images of her mighty ones he has broken to the ground. O my threshing and the grain of my floor, that which I have heard from Yehovah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, I have declared to you. The message concerning Dumah, he calls to me out of Seir. Watchman, how much of the night is past? Watchman, how much of the night has passed? The watchman said, Morning came, and also the night. If you inquire, come again. The message concerning Arabia. In the forest in Arabia you stay, O you traveling companies of Dedanites. You who dwell in the land of Tamah and bring water to him who is thirsty, meet the fugitive with bread. For they fled from the swords, from the drawn sword, from the bent bow, and from the stress of battle. For thus Jehovah has said to me, within a year, according to the year of a hired man, and all the esteem of Kedar shall come to an end, and the rest of the number of archers, the mighty men of the people of Kedar, shall be few. For Jehovah, Elohim of Israel, has spoken. And chapter 22. The message concerning the valley of vision. What troubles you now, that you have all gone up to the housetops, you who are filled with turmoils, a noisy city, a city of revelry? Your slain are not slain with the sword, nor the dead in battle. All your rulers have fled together. Without a bow they were taken captive. All who are found in you are bound together, who have fled from afar. Therefore I said, look away from me, let me weep bitterly. Do not try to comfort me because of the ravaging of the daughter of my people. For it is a day of uproar and treading down and perplexity by the Master Jehovah of hosts in the valley of vision, breaking down of a wall and of crying to the mountain. And Elam bore the quiver with chariots of men and horsemen, and Kir bared the shield. And it shall be that your choicest valleys shall be filled with chariots, and the horsemen shall take up positions at the gate. Then he removed the covering of Yehuda. And you looked in that day to the weapons of the house of the forest, and you saw the breaches of the city of David, that it was great. And you gathered together the waters of the lower pool, and you counted the houses of Jerusalem, and the houses you broke down to strengthen the wall. And you dug a ditch between the two walls for the water of the old pool. But you've not looked to its maker, nor have you seen him who fashioned it long ago. And in that day the Master Jehovah of hosts called for weeping and for mourning, for baldness and for girding with sackcloth. Then see joy and gladness, killing oxen and slaying sheep, eating meat and drinking wine. Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. And it was revealed in my hearing by Jehovah of hosts, for this crookedness shall certainly not be pardoned until you die, said Master Jehovah of hosts. Thus said the Master Jehovah of hosts, go, come to this steward, to Shebna, who is over the house, and say, what have you here, and whom have you here, that you've hewn a burial site here, as he who hews himself a burial site on high, inscribing a resting place for himself in a rock? See, Jehovah is hurling you away, O man, and is firmly grasping you, rolling you up tightly like a ball into a wide land. There you are to die, and there your esteemed chariots are to be the shame of your master's house. And I shall drive you from your office, and you shall be ousted from your position. And it shall be in that day that I shall call my servant Eliakim, son of Hilkiyahu. And I shall put your robe on him, and strengthen him with your girdle, and give your authority into his hand. And he shall be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to the house of Yehuda. And I shall place the key of the house of David on his shoulder. And he shall open, and no one shuts, and shall shut, and no one opens. And I shall fasten him like a peg in a steadfast place, and he shall become a throne of esteem to his father's house. And they shall hang on him all the weight of his father's house, the offspring and the offshoots, all vessels of small quantity, from the cups to all the jars. In that day, declares Yehovah of hosts, the peg that is fastened in the steadfast place shall be removed and cut down and fall, and the burden that was on it shall be cut off. For Yehovah has spoken.